Looks a little frozen, but I've tested that before and it ends up working. Okay, what's up, everybody? I'm Yogi Chris, captain of IMC Nation. This is a stream about social calibration and just looking at some of the experiences that IMC crew has had here in Vegas. It's quite a thing that we're doing on the face of the earth, you know, and how we coordinate, how we maneuver through environments, and of course our lifestyle, like how we've talked before. Cool. Okay, we'll screen share in just a few minutes. Remind me, 'cause maybe when I see you, I'll recognize you. The communication between the guys, it's really stellar. And it's shit compared to what we know it could be, because I tell you how gay it sounds, emotions and egos get in the way. And I tell you, we are on a very fast path of evolving, and we've been on it for years. And it's still, the traps of the mind are, there's a lot of them. I was going to say plentiful, right? And you encounter them when you try to coordinate and communicate. And it's really a testament to how far we've come when you see the coordination and the communication of the guys here. Because we get we already know how unique it is in ourselves. But then we get tons of feedback from the environment and different people, bouncers, staff, security, valet, all kinds of people. The other day, the school principal of some Chicago school or some private school was visiting Vegas, right? We meet a lot of people. Lady, black lady, like 70 years old or something, but still sprightly, or still sprite. And she said that she was the school principal of Michelle Obama, she says. That's what she says. I don't know if she is or not, but she had the credentials of school principal somewhere, etc., for like 25 years or something. And comes up to AZD, tattooed motherfucker, around his crew. It was funny because like right after they parted ways, they spoke for like 2-3 minutes. I have the video. I posted it in my Telegram group, by the way. So if guys, you see this and you want to be on an IMC Telegram group, there are public groups, and we post some private stuff there that we don't want to put on Instagram or TikTok or whatever. And what was I saying? So even and then when they parted, AZD and this lady, and she had her friend too, who was a little older than her. It looked like, could have even been her mom. She was hella old. As soon as they part, one of the guys, their knives falls out of their pocket for whatever reason, and it just falls on the ground. We're like by valet, so it's like concrete, whatever. And it was funny, like, what if that had happened with the lady there? She was hella liberal too, but AZD calibrates. So I mean, we're hella right leaning, hella, and in certain things, maybe not. We're independent thinkers for sure, but the fact that AZD can vibe with that lady, and he's so dangerous looking with the face tats and the crew, the gang around him, and none of us look like chumps, and she just walks right up, It's feedback from the environment, and she's praising, and he's charming her. Doesn't matter that she's, of a different race, from a different culture, like 25 years older than him. It's not hitting on her. It's a way of looking and a tonality that, and a rhythm. It's so many little subtle qualities of communication that elicits almost like the nervous system response, like the person is gets attracted, right? And even an old lady still has a young lady in her. She hasn't changed that much to herself, We all still have the little boy or little girl in us. Whatever age, whatever memories we have, if we think of those memories, we become that age in our mind. The more we drown out everything else and just really dive into the memory and the experience, if you've ever re-experienced something, you almost like twitch. It's like something happened in the dream or whatever, You become that age. We're all that age. So, the old man or the old woman, they still have attraction switches in them of a young man, a virile man, and a, fecund woman or whatever. Virile means like able to have offspring. Fecund means able to have offspring, but it's like for the woman, for the man. So, the knife falls out, which is ironic because what I was going to talk about is at a different casino, one of these big casinos, major casino. We walk through with the crew. The smallest it's ever been is 4 people, but it's been up to 24 people. and on average it's probably 8 to 10 nowadays. In the beginning it was more, but everybody spent all their money at the strip clubs. Fucking stupid asses. So, 8 to 10. A sizable crew of guys. Then to be able to coordinate with each other, because we do it night after night. And it would get draining. If you ever try to coordinate with, 7 to 9 other guys on when to meet, where to meet, never mind the social dynamics, like knowing how to go into a venue and how to interact, when your friend has a girl on him or when you have a girl, how to interact. Like that level of orderliness, that's game. I'm not going to be able to summarize that even now. It's just, that's what we do. But, just in the logistics of getting where you're going, who pays, who tips for the driver, who tips the doorman, who's in contact with the driver. When you're carpooling, because we take 8 to 10 guys, so we have like 2 to 3 cars. Sometimes more if like one guy, he's at base 2 or whatever, and it's just one, and he's far away, it's like 25 minutes, so he drives himself. But for the most part, like the cars get filled, and it's not always the same guys. Like Gio's on right now, it's not always the same guys, so there's a coordination. Just that and the smoothness of it. People, they don't check their phones. They hesitate to communicate. They have an idea in their head and they think everybody else knows it somehow because they thought of it. You got to communicate it. People take for granted, so that people have their own lives. And so even just at that level of orderliness, how we move is astounding, really. It's impressive. So when you have 8 to 10 of us or 12 or 14 of us, as it was on this night, we go through the casino and social calibration. Maybe one guy, if his shirt was a little high and his knife blade, like there's a knife blade right here. It's just a clip. The clip of it. The clip of it is showing. One guy is walking, maybe doesn't bring attention. 12 guys walking brings your attention, and if you're security, you might start looking, and so somebody's knife was showing, and then it became apparent that many guys had knives, and then pretty soon we're surrounded by security. They're not being aggressive, but they are holding like an aggressive posture towards us. And it's almost one for one, like, I don't think they outnumber us. It's not like we're going to get jumped in the middle. It's a busy casino, like people are families, whatever. It's one of these major casinos, major ones on the strip. And, we get confronted by, whoever's in charge or whatever. And you guys can't walk through here because, you're all carrying knives and there's no knives allowed in here, etc. As if there's nobody else carrying a knife or a gun even. It's conceal and carry in Vegas. But it's not like they have metal detectors on the doors that I know of. They have cameras everywhere, people watching them, security everywhere, so you can't be... If you're going to stand out with 14 guys, you got to calibrate. There's a calibration that 14 guys has to have that 1 or 2 guys wouldn't have to have. That's ethics. That's power. Now, if you develop your ethics and your maneuvering in alignment with a bigger group of strong men who are socially aligned, like add these variables, and they carry themselves as high value. They're not scraggly in their grooming. They don't smell like BO. They don't have wide eyes or it's not even like being a tourist. It's different. It's like I don't want to call it predator eyes because predator eyes would be more like sharp like that. But just crazy eyes. If they walk around with, you can't have elements like this. And the more people you have in your group, the more it brings attention to you and you'll be noticed. So you have to calibrate yourself to that. Then if you downsize your group, one night we go out with 2, 3 guys, it's a lot of power. Because we can move under the radar. Imagine like 2, 3 ninjas versus like a small militia of ninjas. It's harder to conceal a militia of ninjas. 2, 3 ninjas can move, but they're super lethal. They can infiltrate deeper in a lot of senses. And that's, what happens. What are these comments coming in? Yo, what's up? What's up? What's up? Okay. A lot of hellos. Hellos. Okay, dude on Instagram, if you're still there and you want to FaceTime, just request again if you can, or comment if you can't request again. Okay, so on another occasion, we were going to one of these major strip clubs. It's a staple of the IMC diet that you go to strip clubs. Man, do we love strippers. And it's not what you think, because it's not like we're all lustful, groping, drooling, chasing down girls, paying for hookers. That's not what's happening. It's a concentration of beauty, obviously traumatized, fucking toxic beauty. But you know what? I think all the beautiful women I ever come across are toxic and beautiful. Toxic and what do you call it? Traumatized. That's what it is. People are traumatized. Earth is traumatic. Have you been a kid on this planet? You know what it's like growing up for people? Some people got it real bad. Some people just got it kind of bad. Some people just a little bad. But there's a lot of bad in there. Maybe punctuated by some good memories. Okay. I'm not complaining per se about my upbringing. I think I had it pretty good. But man, we're not treated right, and those traumatic experiences tend to stand out more in the mind. Like, you have 99% good experiences, that one bad one is like, ah. And how many experiences we had in life, how many of them were traumatic? A bunch. People are traumatized. So, and then with how we move as a tribe is one thing. Interacting with dancers, and of course the staff, it's, the whole game, how AZD teaches it, is very integrated. And so it's a practice field for us to go that, is literally practicing what AZD is teaching. The character, your belief system, your wittiness, your presence. None of those, he actually doesn't really teach any of that. Those are just my words on it. But the, just awareness, such a great practice ground for it. So one of these major strip clubs, we have a tendency of having girls sit with us for a long time because we're very charming. We know how to talk. And we understand something. If you put me in some kind of a scholastic setting, some conference or something about some subject I knew nothing about, then I might not be very charismatic. I might not be able to hold your attention or entertain you in any way. But talk about something I know how to talk about, that I know about, and it's a different story. So, when it comes to the subject of women and female psychology, meaning what she's attracted to, what she's repelled or repulsed by, how she's holding memories, how she's filing them away, how she translates experiences, like all of this how she verbalizes experiences and what she really means. A lot of it comes down to that. Like, what is she really meaning when she communicates? All sorts of communication. And communication is way beyond words, way beyond sounds. How does she position her body? How close is it? What proximity to you or it or her or him or whatever? It all means something. I was saying yesterday or the other day, I was like, blinking means something. And it's like, what does blinking mean? Are you like blink coding people? Bro, two easy clear-cut examples. Blinking, right? If I wink, that's a communication. Wink. Communication. So right there, a blink is a very powerful communication. Do it at the right time, right person, right eye contact. It's powerful. Here's another communication with blinking. Don't blink. Don't blink for like a long time. Like somebody that's crazy or somebody that's hypnotized in a trance or whatever their reason, they fall asleep with their eyes open. If a person doesn't blink, all of a sudden you start to realize how important blinking is in communication. Even if it just keeps the pace going. It's like, okay, the guy's present with me because every time that he blinks, or whatever, the girl. So everything is communicating, down to your odor, your sound, everything, the context, the group you're with. And so understanding how females communicate and what they really mean with all that bullshit that they say or do or whatever. They'll put words on it and it won't be what she was doing or saying. It'll be something else. She doesn't always have like a malicious intent, like evil intent. So, part of what this is alchemy also, because people are caught in their hell. So they are communicating a bunch of garbage unintentionally. They're just filled with poison. So they don't mean it. They haven't addressed it, but a lot of times they don't mean it. So, you can't be triggered or offended by it. It's not effective anyway. You can be. It's just not effective to be triggered. It's not effective to get offended. I don't know the last time that getting offended was useful. Understanding that if somebody's rude or unethical to you and confronting the situation is different than being offended. Similar, they are being offensive to, like offense, defense. They are attacking So in that pure sense of being offended, like they're offensive on you. But that's not what the word means. That's not how we use it. Being offended is like emotionally, distraught or whatever about, something that somebody said or did that they may or may not have even intended you to be distraught about. So getting offended is just not effective to being responsive, witty, high value. It's emotionally weak. And there's a lot of examples of that in life that, people are just push buttons. They're all walking on glass. And especially when you go into the dating, approach a woman and watch how triggering she is. You trigger her, all kinds of bad experiences, and then she spits something back at you that triggers. It's called rejection or whatever. And it can trigger all kinds of things in your mind and psychology that don't feel good. And that'll keep happening throughout. You get in a relationship with somebody and you trust her more and more, and then she bird boxes, a technical term in IMC Nation. She turns super dark evil because she gets offended, and her response mechanism is that. And then all those pleasant things that she said, she says the opposite. And in a mean way, whatever. And you trusted her, and you loved her, and whatever. Getting offended is not effective. So, knowing what the woman is saying, knowing how to not get offended and navigate it and turn it around and handle whatever comes in and spit it back in a way that raises the vibe of the interaction so that it feels good. She laughs. It could be anything. Emotional spikes, you're enjoying it. It's not you're like a fucking court gesture trying to entertain her. It's, you're just high value. And the tension to a beautiful woman interacting with a bad boy, a badass, a fucking cultural outlaw, that's what I am, cultural outlaw, can, really trigger a lot of emotional spikes in her that, life is numb for people. So emotional spikes helps them live. If life was measured moment to moment, people are not living. We have a lot of emotional moments in IMC Nation, even amongst the guys, amongst the teachings, because we're digging up things that are uncomfortable. And really, it's the relationships that uncover that, reveal it, and then that's the testing grounds. And the relationship starts all the way at the beginning with the pickup or the first interaction that you meet with somebody. That's a relationship. You started a relation. You're relating with the person. And then a relationship is a thing that you and them agree to, that you have a thing going, even if it's a friendship or whatever. You have it doesn't have to be a verbal agreement like, do you agree to be in a relationship with me? No, it's just like, I agree non-verbally. It's unspoken. I agree that I like you. You agree that you like me. You agree, I agree that we want to interact again in the future. We have a relationship. Okay, so I don't need to decompose that word too much. But what I'm saying is that when you know what women are saying, when you really get it, then it's possible at the top strip clubs where they charge to even spend like 5 minutes with you or whatever, they just sit down and they're interacting with us. And especially we have so much knowledge of the mind and whatever that how we communicate sorts out the mind. We're very ethical like that. It's not just mind games and hypnotic tricks and whatever. We have to learn those because people should learn those. Those mind games, hypnotic tricks, mind control, whatever, influence is going to happen anyway. People do it. It's not like somebody just brainstormed them. People observed, scientists or social scientists observed these things happening. Hypnotists observed what worked and then codified it and put them all together, stack them all together so that, the hypnotists of today are better than of the past. But if you don't, they are speech patterns and whatever that happen in natural conversation and whatever. And if you don't learn them, you'll unconsciously be influenced. If you don't know how influential communication can be, you will be influenced by it. You're not going to avoid it by just avoiding the subject. You're getting influenced left and right. That's why it's a training ground to work on your character when you go to strip clubs and the interactions. She's triggering as many things as you as any new woman could. She's in her underwear. She's probably trying to touch on you. She's trying to get money from you, so she's really trying to make you think that she likes you. And blah, blah, blah. Stack it up against you. You're getting triggered left and right. Now, we've overcome a lot of those, and that's what it is. So I'm not getting triggered there. But I'm saying that the environment, just bring a new guy. Make him alpha, make him athletic, make him rich, make him whatever. Make him anything other than an IMC player and watch him get stiff at the strip club. If he's getting stiff and he's not trying to be stiff, like he's not consciously being stiff, then unconsciously he's getting stiff. That's called getting triggered. Why? Where's the threat, guy? Why are you threatened? We're not threatened. So, when you know how to talk with these girls, then you know, you actually get them to start liking you. It's not the goal for me. I'm not trying to get the girl to like me, but in a social sense, I am. Positive communication and things happen. Like the connection's undeniable sometimes with whoever, even the bouncers. They want to fight, like in our fight gym or whatever. Like they want to be friends. The drivers, they want to be our friends because we give good experience. It's not like my life aim is to give you a good experience, but whatever experience I give you is kind of a reflection of my ability and my communication. So let me triangulate my mindset. Triangulate, use 3 or more points to locate GPS who I am as a personality based on how people react to me. And not old people, family members I grew up with, or people I've known forever, but new people. And what kind of new people? The hobo? The fucking druggie? The sloppy person? The fatso? No, like high value women and high value men. My tribe. And the value of women just being their sexuality. Just in that sense. They're low value women in strip clubs a lot of times because they just don't even know shit about. But women don't know shit about shit. They don't know how to be in relationships. They don't know how to mate. They don't know how to raise kids. They have so much toxicity in them. It's unbelievable. But I know that in a sun-moon relationship, a man-woman relationship, the woman molds herself to the man that she admires. I've just seen it left and right so many times. She changes herself for the man that she respects and she wants to be with and she is with. If she gets with him, then she'll change herself as long as she looks up to him. And part of looking up to him is him guiding her. It's pretty boring if she's not changing. People change. You want to change. You shouldn't get in a relationship if it doesn't change you. And you shouldn't stay in a relationship if it's not changing you. Or just go have a farm somewhere and live out your days because you're not really that concerned with changing. Why am I concerned with changing? Like I talked about yesterday on the stream AZD came on. Law of attraction, everywhere I want to go in life is going to be through communication. And how I communicate comes through my imagination, my mindset, my persona, my self-image. All these words kind of locate this, how I carry myself, my character. From my character comes my communication, my responses to life and situations. That's all picking up and dating a woman is. It's just responding to her shit in a way that makes her attracted, makes her fall into you, makes her fall in love with you. That's different for a lot of women. There's also a lot of similarities between women. That's where we get the attraction switches. It's common in all women. Okay? So when you go to these big strip clubs, the second thing that happens, so we get requested not to go to that casino anymore because of all the weapons we have. Then a strip club says that we're uninvited, basically, requesting us not to show up there because, and they say some bullshit about the girls complain about this or that, but it doesn't make sense. Like what they said, that's just not anything that we've ever said. We know our game. We learn game with each other. We mastermind about game. None of us were saying what they said that the girls said. So I think there may be 1 or 2 girl haters. There, often is. But that has to have a loudspeaker because there's also female fans there. So what it is the messenger is polluting the message. And the messengers were probably the staff and the bouncers or whatever. Maybe even the owners. I doubt it, though. I don't know. It's all hearsay, but I don't think it was the girls, if I was going to bet. And what makes sense to me is a jealous staff. Because don't you think the bouncers at the strip clubs want the dancers? They're trying to get with it. They're there at work. They're seeing them. They're getting more familiar and comfortable with them. The dancer might ask for help or help me pick up my money or will you walk me to my car or who knows? Will you drive me home even? And maybe they become friends. They drink afterward. Who knows? The bouncers are trying to get with those girls. And as they should. I mean, why not? Fucking A. But, the little haters that they are, they see a pack of wolves come in and entertain their women easily, effortlessly for a long time, and and they'll use 1 or 2 female haters to blast it as a loudspeaker, like the whole venue. They're offending the venue, this and that, and you can't come back here. Good. There's plenty of fish to fry. There's plenty of clubs here, and that's a good thing. Just like the casinos, there's plenty of casinos here. A lot of the girls, the dancers, dance in multiple clubs anyway. It's only a matter of time before a dancer at that club dances at another club. It's not even the best club, so she's definitely going to dance at another club. It's one of the top clubs, but social calibration, So being aware if you're keeping the girl there for a long time, which guy are you offending? Because he's trying to get at that girl. If you have her sit there for a long time and then you don't pay her anything, she may have to get up and report to a manager or something that like she was there for an hour and a half and didn't make any money. You know? And then of course if somebody says something offensive, then girls get offended too, especially traumatized girls. They get hella offended easily. So there's a maneuvering, a politeness or a political interaction for the strip club. Obviously it'd be different if I was at a political rally than if I was at a strip club, but there's a politicking that you do always, really, until you're in such an authority that what you say goes. And so the politicking it's different trying to come up in politics versus being the leader in politics. It's still politics, right? It's the same physics, but you're in a different context. So even though it's the same physics everywhere on Earth, the physics of submarine is not the same thing as the physics of a rocket ship. Even though it's all physics and it doesn't contradict itself, it's just a different area of physics. And the strip club is a different area than a political rally or whatever, or the realm of politics. But politicking, so you're not offensive, right? And then the art and the science and the craft of it is be attractive, be seductive, be charming, be comfortable, be trustworthy, fast, but without rushing. Hurry up, but don't hurry. Get it done, but take your time. Make it thorough, but don't waste time. And a lot of that is going to come in with the jealousy, where you have multiple women there interested in you, and that helps. It helps the woman. You think it helps the guy. It helps the woman realize your value so that she doesn't take so much time, because you don't have that much time. You're only there a little while. She could get fired tomorrow. You could get banned from that club tomorrow. Like, she may not encounter you again. It's in her interest to be aligned with a guy of survival value such as IMC Nation guys, because we have such an awareness of the mind. Survival value is mostly, it's in the mind. It's in your ethics, your ability to make decisions, just your abilities. Your ability to communicate, your ability is your survival value. It's not your dollars. It's not even fighting. I mean, the ability to make money, yes. The ability to fight, yes. Or the ability to defend, yes. Ability is survival value. Your ability to have a relationship with a woman. If you don't have that ability, you must not have high survival value. Because where did you learn to be so disabled? You must have a whole bunch of anti-survival behaviors in you, anti-survival beliefs, anti-survival garbage, just patterns, whatever. You have anti-survival software if you don't know how to relate with a woman. Because where'd you come from? Mom and dad, they didn't know how? All your upbringing? It's the code of life. Nobody is. Don't look around and be like, well, they have it right just because they're holding hands walking through the mall. They suck. They suck. Man, I don't know. I don't have any relationships that I can name that are good. I'm sure there are some good. I'm hopeful there are some good outside of IMC Nation. And it's really, it's like when you have your finger on a pressure point or something and like the guy can't move but just with a little bit of force. It's just a little bit of effort to say your relationships suck and you don't know anybody that has good relationships. That's why you should study IMC Nation. So if you're on TikTok, Instagram, YouTube, or whatever, the link is around. Click the link and get involved. Because your relationships suck and you just got to see it. Like, I'm not putting you down. I'm stating the fact. You got to know. You got to realize it. Like, what's going on in your head? Do you think you have good relationships? Really? The fuck? What is so good about your relationships? What are you doing? Are you growing? And you may have some friends. You may have some... It's more likely guys will have some guy friends that they feel more or less like they have good relationships with. Fast forward that. Move forward through time. Where's the women? You're doing so good. At some point, you're going to want a woman, right? Or women. And look at what happens to your friend group. As soon as one of you gets married, another one gets a woman knocked up and has to pay child support. Like, your group falls apart. That's how good your friendship is. I get that a lot, yeah. American History X. Oh, it's TK. Yeah, I reply. You just got to be patient. Yeah. How does someone look racist? I wonder how that happens. That's pretty racist to say. Is it because I'm white? Are you just racist against white people? Bald white guys seem racist. If they have a tattoo on their neck, bald and white, they look racist. That sounds pretty prejudiced. Oh, I can't vape this on camera because I'll get banned. 1 second. Okay. Are there any questions, or what do you guys think about all that? A lot of you have been on for a while. Okay. Yes. What? Are you just waving? Hello. IMC Xtina. Okay, we can wrap it. I think I got my point across. These two situations. Social calibration, you could get away with more as a solo than you could as 2 or 10 or whatever. Yeah, I know it is an Android. You're right. You can tell. And, the evolution of awareness here is the game. The game is just being more aware. There's spiritual people that like seek awareness and whatever, but what are they trying to be aware of? Because it doesn't seem to be helping them with life. Some of them have like contentment or whatever, but deep down, they're really suffering with women. And if you're a woman, they're really suffering with men. They're not in a good place. Some women are doing better than others because they're in control of what's going on. They are not experiencing a deep fulfillment like women who can safely submit themselves to a man they admire and respect. That's fulfilling for a woman. There's other ingredients to that, like if she submits herself to a man, well, he's probably able to guide her, take care of her, manage her state of mind, help her, teach her. Like there's also give her laugh, make her laugh, give her laugh. So, that's part of her admiring and respecting him. Because if you have everything but can't make her laugh, let's say, she may admire another man that is funny. You don't want that, right? It's unnatural. It puts a wedge in the relationship. So you got to be the perfect man in every way. That's the big obstacle for guys. It's like, getting a date is around the corner. Pretty much wherever you're at. Some guys are harder to coach in that. Okay, so you got to groom your hair and everything, wash yourself better, shave better, change your wardrobe. Okay. A date, when you do all that, then we could get you somebody, even a fatty, a sloppy girl. You can get a date. Getting a high value date, okay, that's going to take a lot. And, getting to the place where, you can have an ongoing relationship with people, it's a complete overhaul of who you are. You can get benefit from just watching a class here or there, to get a product here or there. But it's a whole lifestyle that's different from how you're living life. And we have, as reference, AZD, who's the man with all the girlfriends, high value women, perfect relationships. Doesn't mean there's no conflicts, doesn't mean there's no breakups. So it's a lifestyle of abundance that's built on great communication, just great communication. I mean, that sounds so simplified. It's really understanding. It's getting reality with people, just, pacing their life and projecting a future that they, just understanding. It's communication and understanding and awareness. And people are in the mud. They're just stuck in like liquid concrete or something. They're not going anywhere. They're not changing. They're not doing things different. But a guy, we could get you a date or whatever, but it's just going to ruin your life, man. You're not going to be able to keep her, or you might get her pregnant, or you just settle with her and then get married, and then it'll fuck up your life. That doesn't work. I haven't seen it work in my lifetime. So the lifestyle of ongoing personal evolution, calibrating your evolution to the relationships that you want, including the business success and everything, but at the end of the day, you pull the thread on that sweater, and at the end of the sweater is still you're doing all that business success for relationship success. Everything you're doing is for relationship success. So why not bypass all that bullshit and just learn how to have relationships? Do you think that relationships depend on what job you have, how much your income is, what your body looks like? Yes, in some senses, because your job points to your ideas, your mindsets about yourself. Like, do you love yourself? Do you have you invested in learning a skill that's valuable to people like that? So your job, your income does point to that, but it's not it. She's not marrying you for your job or getting with you for your job. Your physique, yes, again, it's how you treat yourself, it's how you regard yourself. But if you're obsessed about your body, like that's not going to get you better and better and better result. You can't just keep working out and get better results with women, because that's not it. It's your character. And they only know your character through your responses and your communication. So how do you know what to say and what to do? Well, that comes from your mindset, your mentality. Okay, so what's your mentality about it? That's where you're so weak and pathetic. You haven't analyzed your mentality and your mindset about relationships. And the guys that are in IMC and learning, and you're starting to become aware, the way AZD talks about it, and therefore the way that the students start to talk about it, brings light. It makes the invisible visible. So character and your personality is that thing that gets the woman, keeps the woman. And we're working on that 24/7. That's just what we do, because the planet is just enslaved. It's shrouded in ignorance. And there's nothing else to do, man. You're going to have to work and pay your taxes and pay your bills and whatever. You're going to have that bullshit. Eat and shit and shower and sleep and whatever. But who you relate with and how you relate with them and what the results, the fruits of that are, is the substance of life. And to free yourself up to have good relationships, I mean, those are nice words to say, but how do you do that? How do you free yourself up? How do you, like, that's the system here, and that's what we observe nobody else is doing. There are other dating companies and dating coaches, whatever, and I don't see their guys improving. When I listen to them, they sound like dorks. They don't sound like they get women. They sound like they're slaves to women. It's a feminist takeover planet, you know? We're starting to see that feminism was wrong. People are waking up to it, but that doesn't mean it's going to change their indoctrination. They've been educated forever. And so it's one thing to know that like feminism is evil and communism is evil. Now go and try to have business and have relationships and see how communistic and socialistic you are. You're a feminist. You're a feminist as you try to relate with women. You look up to women like a feminist. Like a mama's boy feminist. There's a lot in you that has to change in the decisions you've made about life and yourself. And that's a thorough combing. You know how like you comb through hair or whatever, or you comb the desert for whatever? Like comb through your mind and straighten things out. And there's a lot there, a lot of garbage. A lot of nonsense also that just has nothing to do with a fulfilling life. You've been worshiping knowledge, etc. That's back to the chosen tech. If Travis, I think you're on the chosen. So, all right. I think that's the end of the stream. Got the message across. And I'll see you guys on the next stream. Well, what do I want to talk about? Do a little pitch. So you guys can get involved in the daily class, $97 a month. It's class every day with AZD. And then us, we're masterminding. Advanced camps, that's just the advanced mentalities. In the daily class, he's talking game. And we're just debriefing on our game the night before, different relationship occurrences and things like that. It's just really the recalling social interactions, what was said, what was done, and how to do it better. So you learn social dynamics in the game, which is daily 10 a.m., $97. And you get the recordings and everything. It's a log into a members area. Advanced camps, or just the camps really, are the advanced teachings. That's the mentalities, that's the subtle, that's the imagination exercises, that's the deeper stuff that makes it work. But you'll learn a lot on the game. You'll get a high reference for social dynamics, and you'll change how you do social dynamics. At some point, you may come across blockages, or you just may come across something that really fascinates you, like how do I do this or that, and you'll be interested in advanced training, or not. Some guys don't do advanced training. But as you go advanced, then there's levels of advanced, all the way to coming to Vegas, living with us, going out with us regular for like a week or two or whatever. That's called residency. Highest training. And then messengers, which is residency is part of messengers. So messengers is just the most advanced communication tech that AZD teaches. Tech meaning like systems of thinking and whatever, so that you understand, because the planet is imprisoned to bad communication, bad mindset, bad imagination, hijacking our imagination, worrying and thinking about shit that, whatever. So that's the ladder of progression, and you'll get something wherever you're at. So if right now you're in daily class and you're not on the process, you should be on the process. That's the camp right now. It's an advanced training, very thorough, very deep, very unique. It hasn't been done before. Nothing like it. There's little glimpses of it in the Beast process and a few camps. He's always been teaching his process, AZD has. But the way he's breaking down the process now, people are developing their processes, which is a process of thinking that gets you in a state of mind to be a magician of your life. That when you change your state of mind, you change your communication, you change the interactions that the environment gives you, that everyone gives you, everyone, your clients, your family, everyone. Everyone should be on the process. And if you're on the process, you know, the next step is come to Vegas. Come out for a few days. It's very affordable just to come here and go out with us a few days. Come do residency. It's more expensive, but that'll change you. You're in the vehicle ride. Man, that's full immersion. You will change. We're not living in your world. Come and glimpse Ragnarok. Come and glimpse Eden. Come and glimpse fucking Nirvana. Come and glimpse sanity. Because you're not living sane around people. You're living around a bunch of insane people, and you have to operate kind of insanely to navigate it. So that's the progression. Do you believe in eternal life? And does this information come from Jesus as Lord? Well, I can't say it comes from Jesus as Lord because I can because Jesus is Lord. But I don't know that he ever said that, so that's kind of an absurd question, really. But if truth is one, and what I'm saying is true, then yes. So there's your answer, yes. Okay, everybody? So that's that. Thank you for attending. I'll see you on the next stream. Oh, praise the Lord. Be the best. Fuck the rest. IMC Nation.